This is the Always Up podcast, the blueprint for builders starting from scratch. Again, I'm Brian B. Turner, and this isn't just a podcast. It's the rebuild in real time. What's working, what's breaking, and the mindset that keeps me moving. Always up. There's a book called Daring Greatly by Brene Brown. The whole premise is simple but heavy. We live in a culture where shame runs the show, where vulnerability feels like weakness, when in reality, it's the bravest thing you can do. Brown said it like this: vulnerability is not weakness. It's the courage to show up when you can't control the outcome. That hit me because it's easy to stand tall when you're winning, when you're cashing checks, when you've got momentum and receipts. But can you still stand tall when you're staring down an empty account? When payrolls due and the numbers don't add up? When the only play left is asking for help? That's when vulnerability stops being a word in a book and starts being a war in your chest. I'll be honest with you, I thought I was above that. I thought I could carry it all on my back forever. Because when you've built things from scratch, when you've been the one people come to for help, the idea of flipping it and asking for help yourself, that feels like failure. I remember sitting at my computer, plugging payroll numbers into Excel, watching the math not mathing. I even dug an old calculator out of the closet, like maybe Excel was glitching. But it wasn't the software. It was me running out of safety nets. Personal savings dried up, loans denied, investment pitches falling flat. And the only move left on the board was one I never thought I'd make: borrowing. Most people borrow because they're scared. I am borrowing because I refuse to stop building. This was the fight before the fall, the battle between my pride and my survival. For years, I told myself I didn't need anybody. I built businesses from scratch. I kept payroll going. I solved problems most people would have folded under. I was the one people came to for help, never the other way around. And I wore that like a badge, like proof that I was built different. You know how many jobs I handed out to people who weren't even qualified, just because they needed it? You know how many nights I tossed and turned, trying to come up with solutions for problems that weren't even mine? That was my role. That was my identity. But here's the danger in that mindset. When you do it long enough, you start believing the lie that you can only do it alone. So when it came time to ask for help, I froze. It wasn't just about money. It was about my identity. Because if I admit I need help, does that mean I failed? Does that mean everything I built wasn't real? Does that mean I'm not the man I thought I was? That's the trick pride plays. It convinces you that survival equals weakness, when in reality, survival is the strongest play you can make. I thought needing help meant I was losing. Turns out, refusing to ask was the real loss. It took me days to even line up the words. Days of pacing the floor, typing out texts I never sent, rehearsing conversations in my head, then deleting them before they ever left my phone. Because how do you ask for something you spent your whole career proving you don't need? I'd sit at my desk running payroll, watching the numbers fight me like they had a grudge. I even grabbed an old calculator from the closet, like that little gray box was going to perform a miracle Microsoft couldn't. But it wasn't Excel. It wasn't the calculator. It was me, out of savings, out of credit, out of backup plans. And the crazy part, for a split second, I told myself people should be happy to lend to me. I've built businesses. I've created jobs. I've helped so many people win. I thought the line to help me would stretch around the block. But that moment of confidence lasted about 30 seconds. Then the embarrassment rushed back in. Then the anger. Then the quiet voice that said, "You're really about to do this." I paced those days like a fighter circling the ring. Not scared, just waiting to throw the punch nobody thought I'd ever swing. Borrowing wasn't weakness. It was the price of staying in the fight. The crazy part wasn't even the asking. It was the rehearsing. I'd be walking around the house practicing like it was a TED Talk. "Hey man, you know I've been building for years. You've seen the success. I just need a little bridge until things turn around. Delete. Too soft. Next try. Listen. You remember all those times I helped you out? Yeah. I'm calling in that favor. Delete. Too petty. Next try. Yo, you want to invest in the future? 'Cause the future is me? Delete. Too cocky. I swear I was in the mirror running plays like a bad actor, pacing the living room like I was shadowboxing embarrassment. 1 minute I'm Rocky, the next I'm begging like Jodeci. At one point, I even pitched my dog Sunday. She just tilted her head like, don't look at me, bro. I work for treats. And every time I thought I had the words lined up, pride came crashing back in. Because no matter how I dressed it up, a pitch, a favor, an opportunity, at the end of the day, it was the same thing. Can I borrow some money? That 5-word sentence weighed more than my whole payroll. After days of pacing, after nights of rehearsing, after pride and anger and embarrassment had all taken their swings at me, I finally lined up the words, not perfect, not polished, but enough to get them out of my mouth. I stared at the phone, thumb hovering over the name in my contacts. My chest was tight, my stomach felt like I swallowed rocks, and still, I knew this was the only move left on the board. I'd face banks, payroll, and freezes, but nothing scared me more than that little green send button, because I knew once I crossed that line, everything would change. That 5-second pause felt heavier than 5 years of running a business, and that's where we pick up next time. Episode 7, The Ask. Thanks for listening to Always Up. If this episode hit, share it with someone rebuilding their life or business. You can find my books, tools, and more at heybbt.com or at Brian B. Turner on Linktree. And remember, no matter what, keep building. Always up.